Welcome to Conversations with Beth and Dan.
Where you'll find insights, solutions, and ideas to fill your toolbox for life.
We'll talk to experts and real people about what's important and timely every day of your life.
Listen in.
And find out.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Your skin's looking good.
I was just in Florida, and man, I was out in the sun so much.
Wait a minute. Did you wear sunblock? Dan!
No.
How many times have I told you you need to wear sunblock? Otherwise, you're going to look like an old man.
Oh, I was so crabby with my kids for not doing it. I did not walk my talk.
Typical man.
Yeah. Well, you hear that cute little voice that's chiming in is our guest for today. I love this person. She takes care of my skin. She makes me look beautiful. Her name is Carolyn Ash. She's the author of the book Skincare A to Z and Timeless Skin. Dan, what else can you tell us about this lovely guest?
Well, she's a licensed anesthetician for 22 years, and owns and maintains a skincare salon in Chicago in the Lincoln Park area. And she has a website that's full of educational materials and insights on how to take care of your skin. So,
welcome, Carolyn.
Yeah, thanks for coming. And I did a bad thing, huh?
Thank you for telling me.
Well, first of all, tell us how to say the word.
Yeah,
I am an esthetician. An anesthetician is really someone that anesthetizes people, which is kind of what I do in my facial, but I'm not licensed to do that.
Don't make me numb.
Yes.
Don't make me numb.
You could also call me a facialist, but we like licensed esthetician, but it's a tough word.
Well,
it's
and
okay.
what you do to help people with their skin is really not just a simple let's go to the spa and get a facial. This is a very, very well thought out, organized, beautiful way to really help a woman take care of her skin. And that's what we're here to talk to you about today, is really learning how to keep our skin youthful and healthy and get some tips based on your experience in your wonderful books for our listeners.
Absolutely.
Well, and it's not just about women, I'm sure you have plenty of men clients, I imagine.
I do not discriminate. Skin is skin, no matter what gender is wearing it, yes. But, I write the books because I've been doing this for 22 years, as you said, Dan, and I find that so many times the same questions keep coming in, whether by website or by phone or in my salons, about how to, just the simple ways to take care of our skin. And probably the number one question I get is about aging. And, women usually come in, how do I keep my skin from aging? Yeah. And
without having to stick needles in it or get your face cut apart.
Exactly.
Which, I have to admit, at my age, I look in the mirror and I think, okay, look good, okay, but I wish this was a little bit here. And, so it's like what's some tips? And that's what I think we can talk about today.
One of the things, and you just touched on it, is people are comparing women, and I'm not excluding your gender, Dan, but men generally don't worry about this kind of thing, just like you don't wear sunscreen, like you said at the top of the show. But women are so competitive and so comparing themselves to other looks that they're not really taking into consideration just their own aging process and embracing that. And so really one of the first things I tell a woman when she comes in and is concerned about the aging process is learn to accept it, not to disregard taking care of your skin and doing all the things that you can do to look good. But part of the process is accepting the fact that this is the most natural and inevitable process that's going to take place. You can't stop the train. Yeah. You can slow it down maybe, and you can maybe change its direction, our tracks or whatever, but you're going to age. And so that's really, it's not a skincare product and it's not something you can buy, but it's something that, you have to come to a conclusion that you're going to accept it and then
take care of it.
And then take care of it. And, aging is really the reason your skin ages is for three reasons. Genetics, what your parents gave you, sun, Dan, Florida, it's great, but that sun exposure is going to, prematurely age you. And it's the care you're taking of your skin, which includes all kinds of lifestyle habits like, things that you're ingesting, food, alcohol, smoking, all that kind of thing. And so, the first thing you can't do anything about. You can't change your genes. Sun exposure is the easiest way to keep your skin from prematurely aging, and that needs to start really early on. I know, Dan, you said you were really careful about keeping sunscreen on your children.
On my children.
Right, and that's great because they need that, because sun damage takes sometimes 20 years to show up. So the sun we're getting as a teenager, at 15, 16 with the baby oil on or going to tanning booths like they're doing nowadays,
I know.
It's going to show up when you're starting the aging process like around 30 or 40. And it's not just wrinkles and lines and things, it's skin cancer that you want to be also, mindful about, because it's those two components that the sun is
How would you know? I mean, I that's more of a doctor question, but is there any telltale signs, and dealing with skin on a regular basis, that people might be aware of, or should they just get a regular exam from a dermatologist? I mean, obviously that would be the answer, but tell us a little bit about that.
What do you do?
Yeah, for preventative.
I recommend people by the time they're 35 or 40 definitely to get a baseline mole check at your dermatologist.
Mm-hmm. That's good advice.
Just because, and if someone comes in, maybe someone comes into my office and they're 28 or 30, and I can tell they've had a lot of sun exposure, and how I tell that is because they have a lot of pigmentation or freckling or moles and such. I always recommend that they get a mole check just so that there's a baseline, so that if anything changes, because that's the key, is change.
Yeah.
Size, shape, color, anything that changes in a mole, or even freckles, that like get really dark when they weren't dark before. Any changes are signs that there could be a problem. It doesn't mean it's cancer. It could be pre-cancer. It could be something else. But it's always
Smart.
Always to be safe
Just to be
than
safe
sorry.
Safe.
In that
I was going to
case.
say safe is making sure that you're not going to be sorry long term.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so then we talk about, we've got the sun. So we dealt with that aspect. We're wearing our sunblock. You can't change your genes. We're wearing our sunblock. Then what do we do?
Well, then it's the more detailed answer and investigation.
And we like details.
Right. Well, it's about really looking at your diet, and it's not just diet, it's exercise, it's how you think, it's really the whole mind-body experience that is going to either cause you to look older than you really are, or keep you young looking. And again, it goes back to that mental thing I was talking about with accepting the aging process. But it's also, I'm sure you've seen people that are kind of miserable in their life for whatever reasons, and they have a hardened look to their skin. They also probably are not taking good care of their skin, and they probably also are not eating well. That just usually goes hand in hand. I don't know that I've really seen someone that is kind of miserable in their life who has a really great diet. Because probably if they were eating a really great diet, it would help. Yeah.
I mean, I do notice when I eat well, eat raw or fresh fruits and vegetables, I'm just more vibrant and I'm more aware and alive. Salmon once a week, whatever it is.
Higher energy.
Apples.
Yeah. And it
also it goes to the mindset. If you're going to make that effort to get the right food and put the right food in your body, it shows that you're in the right place in your head.
It's called a domino effect, so to speak.
Right. There are three things that are really bad. If you want to really keep these things out of your body, it'll help you as far as the aging process goes, and that's sugar, alcohol, and caffeine. Because all and those are all the
the checklist is built. Okay,
sunscreen,
caffeine,
no
caffeine.
fun,
Oh my
no
God.
desserts, no coffee in the morning. And also, I want to say, and I stress this, and I completely live this in my own life. Everything in moderation, including moderation. Yeah. I'm not a believer in abstinence in terms of like no coffee, no sugar, but the long-term effect of an overaccumulation of all that stuff in your body. It's hard on your liver. It's hard on your skin. It's just hard on...
I mean, I've read that and you relate to that sugar is really an ager. You know, as much as I love going to Cold Stone Ice Creamery, getting the toffee cake batter with caramel and whipped cream and bananas.
And they're now a sponsor.
And if you go there, 555-1212. No, but I do admit that is one thing I love to do once, a month or whatever.
Right. And you should.
Right. And then I'm like, I got to go work out. I got to, then I eat salmon and greens for 3 days. But or I'll eat salmon and greens for 3 days, and then I'll go to Cold Stone.
You're balancing. That's all.
That's the key. That is, if anyone wants to know how to take care of their skin for the rest of their life, that's it. Balance. Mm-hmm. And it,
So the banana diet's not going to work.
The banana diet's not going to work. Diets really don't work. But the sugar is bad for two reasons. One, it's an inflammatory. It causes inflammation in your body, so puffiness, dark circles.
And other diseases.
Right. And it also, and you know this from coming to my salons, it also causes problems with skin, and it causes breakout. And those are the two soapboxes that I mostly talk about more than anything is breaking out from sugar and the aging process. Yeah. And so many times clients come into my office and their skin is broken out, and a lot of it is from sugar. And it's hard to believe, the Stone Cold ice cream is causing a lot of that problem. So I know we're segueing into another topic.
No, but it's true. And so I know there's a whole nother issue with teenagers because it's a hormonal shift
Exactly.
and there's a lot going on. So you can't just blame their diet for their
Right.
skin.
My 13-year-old is, he's 13. He's hitting puberty in a big way now, and he's starting to get some
Have his
breakout.
moments,
And so I'm curious what's making that happen. There's got to be external factors. It sounds like there are. And how do you treat that? What would be some good ways to do that?
So that's a great question. And I always say that it's just such a terrible time in life because they're
So
exactly
much
like you
going
said. The hormones are starting to
rage.
And so that causes, the testosterone is really, blowing out. And so it's causing, with some, young men, it's causing breakout. And they're also not really responsible for their food intake. I mean, let's face it, 13-year-olds are eating lots of sugar, drinking lots of Cokes. And I'm not saying that your children are, but they may be when you're not looking at them.
And laying in the sun without sunscreen.
Right. No, well, apparently they do have sunscreen on.
According to the conversation, if I read the transcript.
We're pretty, Your Honor, I'm guilty. But
I remember going back to the sunscreen thing, Dan. Sorry, go ahead. I'll say it after.
Well, I want to make sure because I want to get the advice
Yeah.
on how to help my 13-year-old.
Well, and the third component, so it's hormones raging, it's diet, and then it's usually, especially the young guys, they're not taking care of their skin. I mean, 13-year-old girls may not be either, but they're more prone to it because in society it's more acceptable for women to be taking care of their skin, whereas men, it's like, I don't want to be girly. But it's not. It's just like brushing your teeth, and that's how I relate it even to my adult clients. If you can instill in your son that, it's just like you brush your teeth, hopefully, in the morning and at night, then, you need to be washing your face morning and night, and he may not be doing that. And also, I don't know if he plays sports, but sometimes headgear and things that are, slammed up against the face, and they're sweating can cause, or just, even in a sport where they're sweating, he may not be washing that sweat off, and that can cause irritations because that's real acidic on the surface.
So really watching the sugar.
Sure, yeah.
And
white flour.
And washing his face regularly.
Yeah. So washing with just a good, like Cetaphil is a good cleanser. You can get it at any, department or grocery store. It's cheap and it's fine. Bar soap is kind of a no-no, and that's what most people know what to use. But soap strips the skin and makes it, dries out the surface, and it makes the oil glands sometimes pump more oil to compensate for the loss of oil being just completely stripped off. So
what about
that might be a change.
The pads?
Yeah, like Stridex and things like that. Yeah, those usually have really drying ingredients. If they don't have benzoyl peroxide, it's usually some other hard chemical that is, again, stripping. And the key, whether you're a teenager or an adult, you don't want to strip the skin because it, like I said, it takes all the oil and water off, and your skin sometimes overcompensates for that loss by, there's no oil on the surface. Well, I need to produce more oil, and that can get that process started. And his oil glands are already overproductive, no doubt.
Right.
So keeping the skin clean.
Those pads are so easy.
Yes, they are.
But she just gave you a name of a cleanser, which would be great.
And you know what? Opening that jar, taking the pad out,
Noxzema?
going around the face, and closing the jar is about the same as picking up the
thing, squeezing
and
it,
washing his face. So it's
you
about the same time.
You could even get like those little square pads and squirt it on for him.
No, make him do it himself. He's 13.
I'm just saying, teach him. See, that you can tell him to be doing that.
Noxzema? Is that what you're saying?
Was that just crazy?
No.
I grew up using Noxzema. I don't want to.
I can smell it right now. Just thinking about it.
It's been 30 years. My goodness.
Yeah. Oh, it's only been 20, Beth.
I know.
Don't lie.
All right, so Carolyn, I want you to look at my skin.
He's kind of looking.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know how we can do this, Andy,
Well,
our director. I'm gonna come over.
Actually,
I want you to analyze my skin.
Okay, I think I got a pretty good look at it.
Okay.
Out there. I mean,
it'd be nice if he shaved once in a while, but that's a whole nother story.
Liz, are you here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I never.
She
I
was
know
channeling
she hates
through me.
that.
And happy belated birthday, by the way. So you're 32.
Oh,
wait, 1965. So right? Okay.
Yeah.
41.
So I can't do math. I'm a
42.
Great at skincare.
42.
Can't do math.
He's my age.
So first of all, you're doing really well for the aging process, especially since you're someone that has not taken care of their skin in the sun, I guess.
But I don't lay out in the sun.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's
from
a
this point
misnomer.
on, you will.
When I ask my clients, do you get sun? They think I mean, are you laying out in the sun? And everyone's like, no. Today, just going outside and you're getting sun. It doesn't matter whether you're laying out, whether you're having lunch in the sun,
Getting the mail.
or getting the mail, whatever. All of that accumulates. All that time accumulates. So, you know, like I'm sure you probably don't necessarily sit in the shade when you're out having lunch outside.
No.
That's just the same as laying out in the sun. FYI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like every morning when I put my lotion on, I put sunblock on. In the winter, 365, like every day of the year. Even if I know I'm homesick, I put sunblock on.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say the brand, but the stuff that I get from Carolyn, because it's beautiful and it smells great and it's a good moisturizer.
Your skin is in really good condition, especially for your chronological age, seriously. And you don't have any issues going on that I could see. You know, I just glanced at it quickly, but it doesn't even look like, you know, you're over producing oil. Maybe you have a little bit of oil on your nose, but that's common because it's some highest concentration of oil glands there. How are you taking care of your skin? Do you wash it?
I shower regularly. Regularly.
Oh, thank God.
I said it, and I'm like, okay, Beth, I just set you up.
I know, he does that well.
But when you're in the shower, is that when you wash your face? And when you're out and like going to bed, you're probably taking a shower in the morning, not at night. And so at night you don't wash your face.
I don't wash my face. No.
And I also want to say this: men can get away with doing less.
'Cause they shave.
I was wondering.
And some women. I had a client come in a couple of weeks ago that truly was hardly doing anything. And I told her, underline, you are an exception.
Yeah. Because
if I did what she was doing or wasn't doing, my skin would look horrible and would be broken out and stuff. So, but you know, proper skincare is 3 steps. It's cleansing, toning, and moisturizing. Just again, if I don't know what you're cleansing with, soap in the shower.
Oh yeah.
Okay, get the Citadel like you're getting for your son.
Spring.
Yeah, right. A deodorant soap, no doubt. So that's even smell. That's even worse.
It was on sale.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I'm fortunate that I don't have the skin.
So then, when you tone, so you're using a good cleanser.
Yeah. And a toner for a man can also double as an aftershave. And the best way to do it is to put it in a spray bottle and just spray it on. And toners are primarily water, so they're superficially hydrating. See, we've got the sound effects.
Wow, that's not Andy, our producer.
That's me.
And they just have special ingredients in them, depending on the product line, but they have special ingredients in them that help to get the acid level back on your skin that you disrupt a little bit when you cleanse, not to get too technical on you. And then moisturizing is important after you've washed and toned because you want to keep the skin soft and supple. Again, it helps make lines look less. In fact, if you look at the advertising on a lot of the anti-aging wrinkle creams, they say that they can stop the appearance, or change the appearance of lines. They actually don't do anything to anti-age your skin. They just moisturize it, which softens the look of the line. And so, and you really do need to do that, especially in winter. I'm sure this winter your skin was just like,
my hands get terrible. More than my face.
Can we touch upon too nutritionally? Because I think you're a big proponent of the essential fatty acids in the diet, and I don't think a lot of people listening. This is when you turn the volume up, ladies. This is the part that I really think people need to pay attention to. Is really what goes in too, all of it. But this is a key piece that people I don't think know about. So let's touch on the nutritional aspect.
Sure. Well, a lot of doctors, dermatologists will say, food doesn't affect your skin, sugar doesn't affect your skin. And it's such a kind of preposterous idea because what you eat is what you are walking around in right now. And so, we all know it's the balance thing. You need to balance out, all your nutritional needs. And I think people need to individually find out what kind of diet, meaning daily intake of food they need. Like I need a lot of protein. I'm kind of like a cat. I'm an obligate carnivore. I have to eat meat at every meal, but not everyone's like that. And I know you were talking about the raw food diet and such. And, you just have to find out what your nutritional needs are. Essential fatty acids are essential to the health and the integrity of all cells, and we're made up of cells, and you really cannot get them very easily through your diet. Now they're putting them in eggs. They're putting, I was listening, Trader Joe's has tortilla chips that has essential fatty acids added to them.
And salmon, right?
Salmon and sardines. And
almonds? No.
No, not so much. It's more the oily fish.
Yeah.
And I happen to eat a lot of salmon, not because it's
salmon.
good for me because I just love it.
Yeah.
But even so, I still take evening primrose oil, which is my favorite way of getting essential fatty acids.
Can
every
flax?
day.
Yeah, flax oil.
Flax, absolutely.
So there's a lot, and a great way to add that is into a smoothie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great way. So
absolutely.
Well, these have been very helpful tips.
Oh my gosh!
I have lots more to tell you.
I know.
I have such a clear path
I want to make
on what I need to do, which is about cleansing with
sunblock.
Without soap.
Well, sunblock, cleanse, tone, moisturize.
And then
I
when
love
we're
it.
done, we should go over to Cold Stone. No. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
don't kid me like that.
I have 7.5 days before I get to go again. So let's just be clear on that. No, but seriously, for our listeners, I really would love for you to check out Carolyn's website. Carolyn, give us your web address so everyone can please then from here click on over. I'd love for them to read up about you and what you're doing and all of your books and whatnot.
Sure. It's www.carolynash.com. That's CarolynAsh.com. And you can email me questions if you have them, and I'm happy to help you with your skin however I can.
And then if people are interested, I know on occasion sometimes you do teleclasses and things like that, so they'll be able to contact you and get on a mailing list kind
Absolutely.
of thing? Great.
Yeah, the best thing they should do is sign up for my monthly newsletter, and then they'll be informed on
LinkedIn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's something I felt was very helpful. You do like an hour, is it, of answering clients' questions through a teleseminar.
Oh, that's
It's
great.
wonderful, and that's something that we really want people to know about.
Well, thank you.
And don't forget to purchase her book because it's the skincare.
And you can do that through your website?
Yes.
Yeah, there's links.
Awesome.
So, yeah. We're good to go. Well, here's looking at your beautiful skin.
And yours too. And yours, Dan.
Thank you. I've got a nice simple path to move on, and
That's
I'm gonna drag my son along with me.
So if you could pick one tip to add to our toolkit of life, what tip would you like to add to our toolkit of life today for our listeners?
I would say, don't spend too much time thinking about the aging process. Spend more time enjoying your life.
Very good. I like
great.
that. All right, let's throw that in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Well, everyone listening, check out Carolyn's site. And until then, have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Conversations with Beth and Dan is a co-production of the Men's Media Network and For Her Information Media. Executive producers are Beth Aldrich and Dan Bulff. Produced and directed by Andy Matran at Matran Studios, Chicago. Copyright 2006, all rights reserved. Contact us at getreal-online.com and forherinformation.com. Thanks again for listening to Conversations with Beth and Dan.